This particular evening, I have something that I heard about less than a month ago and purchased as soon as I saw it on the shelf because it was something new. This is the handcrafted Red Bank Premium Blended Canadian Whisky. And there's some fine print here, which is hard to see. Let me just get this here. It says, expertly crafted using the finest blended whiskey for those who will settle for nothing less. And it is signed by Kiefer Sutherland, of all people. Yep, Kiefer Sutherland. Red Bank Whisky Company, Nova Scotia, Canada. Okay. What else does it say on here? Proudly Canadian, Red Bank Whisky blends notes of caramel and toasted grain with hints of rye, spice, and roasted oak for a taste as rugged and refined as its home on the Nova Scotia coast. Here it says, return for refund where applicable. Distillery number 56-SL-1144. Interesting. Well, let's have a look at this. It's a clear bottle with yellow, it looks like yellow writing on it, and signed right here by Kiefer Sutherland. I didn't know Kiefer Sutherland was making whiskey, or I didn't know he was going the way of Bob Dylan or Wayne Gretzky or who else? Other celebrities. So, shall we treat this as a celebrity whiskey, or what shall we do with it? We're going to give it a try. It says Red Bank Whisky Company on this thing that looks like a tax stamp. And on the top it says something too. Fine print. Red Bank Whisky Company, Nova Scotia, Canada. Okay, they're really pushing the eastern origins of this one. And it's blended, so it's not a single malt. It's just rye and corn and maybe some wheat. Composite cork. The usual sawdust and glue. Okay. And this one is bottled at, did I mention that yet? Oh yeah, here it is. 40%. So it should be easy drinking. It cost, okay, $46.99 at BC Liquor Store. 10-cent container deposit, $4.70 liquor tax, goods and services tax of $2.35. Grand total out the door, $54.14. And if you're paying cash, it's $54.15. There you go. $54.15 out the door. Ah, smells nice. Lots of that corn husk note. Lots of that corn husk. Corn husk, hint of rye. It smells quite sweet because of the corn. Corn and corn husk. I don't know if there's any wheat involved here, or if there's any. There's definitely corn and some rye. Maybe a bit of malted barley, but I don't think it's much. I think it's mostly corn. Hint of rye. Definitely there's rye in there too. A bit of vanilla, caramel. Maybe there's some wheat. And some malted barley. So you could say it's a 4-grain, I suppose. But it's not very transparent here. I guess if I was to look up, if I was to look it up online and see what it says about it, that might be interesting. Shall we do that? Shall we have a look and see what it says about Red Bank whiskey? Okay. Red Bank whiskey. I don't know why somebody spells it with a E, but it's Canadian, so it's whiskey. Red Bank whiskey home. Okay, let's see what they say here. Come on. And handcrafted with pure Canadian ingredients, Red Bank whiskey is an authentic expression of its coastal terroir. Okay, that's just what it says on the blurb. Maybe now I'm getting the Red Bank whiskey website. Are you of legal drinking age in your state or province? Hope so. A remarkably great expression of Canadian flavor, small batch, handcrafted to be enjoyed with friends. Perfectly balanced. Where to find and drink whiskey. Oh, it even plays a tune. I wonder if I can shut that up. Okay, an evening with friends, memories for a lifetime. You can bank on it. Kiefer Sutherland, co-founder of Red Bank Whiskey. There you go. Our granite rocks slope to meet the sea, and stories are carried on the wind like campfire smoke. Poetry! This is Red Bank on Canada's rugged Atlantic coast, where beach stones and bonfires inspire an incredibly well-balanced, bold flavor profile. A place where moments are shared and music moves to the rhythm of ocean waves. Proudly, purely Canadian. Okay. Authentic expression. Na. Distilled by award-winning master blender Michel Marcy. Red Bank is master-crafted from Canadian wheat and perfectly balanced for extra smoothness and complex notes. Sip it neat on the rocks with a splash of water and to fully savor its flavor. Okay. Canadian wheat. A masterful collaboration, rhythm and taste. Whiskey that's shareable as a good story. Okay, it mentioned wheat, but where to find Red Bank whiskey? New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island. We're expanding our availability. Red Bank. Let's have a chat. Let's be friends. Red Bank. Okay, so it's redbankwhiskey.com. Number #R -whiskey. Now let me get out of this website. Okay. There we go. It mentioned wheat. Okay. But it didn't say anything about corn. It didn't say anything about rye or malt. It could be mostly wheat. You know, wheat sweetness and corn sweetness are similar, but the first thing I got on the nose was corn husks. So I don't know. I don't know what to think here. But let's get back to where we are. All right. We've been recording for 10 minutes already. Wow. And I've nosed it, but I haven't tasted it yet. So I'm about to do that right about now. Okay. Okay. On the palate, it's quite sweet. Not cloyingly sweet or overbearingly sweet, but there is a sweetness and a flavor of wheat. So it said wheat, but I'm sure there's other stuff in here. I'm sure there's some rye and some corn and some barley, but it would be more wheat heavy or leaning more towards wheat than I thought at first. I thought at first it was corn. Now the corn husk note is completely gone now that I've tasted it. Okay. It's very easy drinking. It's a young whiskey from what I can tell. It's a little bit, I get a little bit of that alcohol heat, just a bit. You can tell it's there. You can tell the alcohol's there, even though it is at 40% alcohol by volume. It's sweet-ish. It's very easy drinking. Large drops coming down the side of the glass. Large drops. Very easy drinking. A slightly bitter aftertaste. Slightly bitter on the finish. Not unpleasantly so, but slightly bitter on the finish. Well, if they could sell this for the price of something cheaper, it's $54 is a little much for this experience. If they could sell it for around $35 with taxes included and everything, that would be a much better deal. I don't think I'm going to replace this, but I'll enjoy it while it's here. It's a nice, easy drinking starter whiskey. Could use a little more rye, I think. Cheers.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food quick.
Yeah.